In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make these super cool liquid animation streaks, but you'll also learn how to make these very quickly. Like you could have a series of these streaks in different colors and styles in less than 10 minutes easily. We'll be creating a color control using expression controls, and you'll see why and when it's useful to pick whip properties. Please like and share this video. Subscribe and click the bell so you get notifications. Join the 7-Minute AE family today for just $4.99 a month. Get my Udemy course today, The Power of Shape Layers. Visit our online store to get your 7-Minute AE merch, and don't forget to check out our affiliates, Envato Elements and AE Juice, for special deals on everything After Effects related. Links are in the description below. Okay, there's a lot to get through, so let's dive right in. So let's just go ahead and create a composition. I'm going to call this Streak 1 in 1920 1080, about 10 seconds. Let's right click in this area to the left of our timeline and do new shape layer. I'm going to open that up, and we want to add in a path. And I'm just going to draw this little shape here so we have something we can kind of look at like that. And then we want to add in a stroke, and we want to make that width, we'll say 20. And then open up your taper settings. Now, I believe the taper settings and the wave settings came about around 2021. So if you don't see this, that's why. And we're just going to change our start length and our end length to 50. So that way it kind of tapers off, as you can see, like that. Let's go to our effects and presets and type in roughen edge, add a roughen edges. And I'm just going to leave this at the default settings. So double click that. So one more animation tool we need to add in here is trim paths. Open that up, set both of these percentages to 0, keyframes at the beginning, go for about 2 seconds, and then make them both 100. Select all those keyframes in F9 to make those easy ease. And then I just want to offset this first keyframe on the start percentage. And then if you go to our graph editor, just pull this handle all the way to the right. But now where we go from here is really the key to this tutorial. I did another tutorial recently where I talked about parenting, and there are times when you want to parent properties, and this is one of those. It will save you a ton of time. Okay, so before we get going further, let's Option Command Y to add in an adjustment layer, and we want to call this colors. Okay, and with that layer selected, we're going to go to Effect, Expression Controls, and we're going to add in a color control. We're going to call that Color 1, and then if we just duplicate that, we'll have Color 2. Back to our shape layer here, let's just call this Streak 1, and we want to open up our stroke setting. Okay, and then go back up to our colors layer, and I meant to lock this down, so go ahead and lock down that. That way we can click away and it will remain. So let's take our color right here and just pick whip up to color 1. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and change this real quick. So I want my color 1 to be a blue, and you can make whatever color you want. And then I like to color pick my second color to my first, so it's the same exact color. That way I can kind of lighten it or darken it and have basically the same color family. Okay, and we will be using that color 2 here in just a bit. So let's go ahead and unlock that effects control. Let's take Streak 1 and duplicate that. So now we need to parent a ton of things here, and you will see why as we move forward. So starting with our path, we just open up both paths. Let's pick whip on Streak 2, path to path, like that. We want to open up our trim paths here, and we can go ahead and get rid of these keyframes because we'll be parenting to start and the end to end. Okay, open up our stroke setting there and go down to our Streak 1. Let me find our stroke setting. So we're looking for width. So I'm just going to pull this up so we can see a little bit more here. So I'm going to take my stroke width and then pick whip that down to stroke width of Streak 1. And then we also need to open up our taper settings. And I like to go ahead and just pick whip every single one of these settings just because you never know what you're going to change later on. Now on Streak 2, I want to take this color setting and I want to make that our color 2 setting. So again, let's lock that down, go to Streak 2, and then just take this color and pick whip up to color 2. Let's close all this up. And I'm going to pull this back down a little bit. And then let's take Streak 2 now and duplicate that and rename this to matte. Okay, so let's take Streak 2, alpha matte, up to the matte layer. Okay, and I'm going to push in here a little bit on our comp view. So bring up position on Streak 2. Now watch as I move this down, you'll see we kind of have this two-tone color. And that's why I want to go ahead and create a color control, because see now I can change this, pick whip that, and that way I can control these colors and we can make these very quickly. Select all of these layers here and hit EE. We can see all of our expressions. When we duplicated streak 2 and got matte, all of those expressions came with streak 2. The reason why this is important is, see, now I can open up streak 1 and we can change this path, and the matte layer in streak 2 will change with it, which is very, very useful. You can make a completely different kind of animation if you want. To bring up your keyframes, you can change the speed of your animation. And since we pick whipped the trim paths animation from streak 2 in the matte layer, those settings will come over as well. And remember, we also pick whipped our stroke size. So see, we can make a thicker stroke if we'd like. We can make it smaller. So this is the hard part. So now here comes the part where we can have a lot of fun. So let's create a new composition. I'm just going to call this main here. So now we can bring in streak 1, and so we have this streak right here. We can take streak 1, duplicate that, make streak 2. Let's go into streak 2. Now we can change these colors up. So let's do that. Let's make actually I'm going to do a different kind of blue, maybe something a little bit lighter. Grab that color, then maybe make this one a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to really change up this path here. If we watch it play back, we can see that we have that animation and all of the paths follow that initial streak path. Okay, we can go back out to our main here. Let's bring in this streak 2. And so see, now you can kind of play around with these. You can combine them, you can offset them. If you right click on streak 2, go to transform, flip horizontal, it will come in from the opposite direction. Let's make a streak 3. So take streak 2, duplicate that, Command or Control D, open this up, and maybe we'll make these colors. We'll say maybe like a green, something a little bit darker, and grab that color. Maybe make this one really dark. So we have that color there. So whatever we do to path 1 here is going to update on the other layers. We've seen that just by moving this around, but one of the things that's really cool is you can actually add and take away points, and it will also update. So I'm going to do kind of a cool little circular thing here. Go down to about the 2-second mark. With this streak 1 layer selected, hit U to bring up your keyframes. Bring that over. Now watch this play back. Again, you can play around with these keyframes for your animation, and it will update. Maybe you don't want it to come in quite like that. You want to maybe linger a little bit. Maybe you want this keyframe here on the end animation to come in fast. You know, you can really play around with these and get some very, very cool, unique, different kinds of looks. See, maybe we'll increase our stroke width. I'll say maybe 50. And go back out to our main. Let's go ahead and bring in our stroke 3. And again, you can offset these. You can do all kinds of things. Once we created our first streak, the other two were super quick and easy to create. By parenting these properties and adding in that color control, we've set ourselves up to save a lot of time as we create these new streaks. This is one of those times where knowing when to parent certain properties really does save a lot of time. I'd like to thank the good folks over at AE Juice for sponsoring this video. If you haven't checked them out at aejuice.com, I highly recommend you do just that right now. Get tons of free plugins from AE Juice that will save time while adding polish and professionalism to your projects. Get the AE Juice Starter Pack, which contains over 100 assets for your projects, including liquid and shape elements, liquid transitions, slides for your slideshows, text presets, flat icons, 2D and 3D assets, and so much more. AE Juice also offers professionally produced sound effects absolutely free. Other free plugins include a HUD package that is super cool. These elements would literally take hours to create, but with AE Juice, you get them absolutely free, and they can be dropped into your project with the click of a button. Some of my personal favorite free plugins include Copy Ease, which allows you to copy the speed graph of your keyframes and paste them so you get identical keyframe speeds. I also use Shifter on a regular basis. Instead of going through the multiple steps of offsetting layers, this plugin allows you to do it with the click of a button, which saves a tremendous amount of time. In addition to these impressive free plugins, you can also purchase advanced products at more than reasonable prices. Take advantage of AE Juice's bundles. My personal recommendation is that you get the I Want It All bundle, which includes everything I just showed you. I've been approached by several sponsors, and I will not promote their products unless I support them, use them, and highly recommend them. AE Juice is an amazing product and company, and in my opinion, it's a necessity for any serious motion graphic designer. AEjuice.com. I hope this tutorial helped you out and that you learned something new and useful. Make sure to come back next time for another tutorial that will expand your knowledge of After Effects while also teaching you some really cool tips, tricks, and shortcuts. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Support our channel by getting your 7-minute AE merch today at our online store. And sign up for my Udemy course, The Power of Shape Layers. It's guaranteed to make you a Shape Layer Rockstar. The link to that course, to our 7-minute AE store, and the project files for this episode are all in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.